Right? Let's start. What are we doing today? We're doing flex, server, and client. Flex server, client. We have done spoke to spoke. We have done SVTI, DVTI setup. The last VPN in flex is server and client. What does this represent? What is it in familiarity will? Easy VPN. But you have to understand some things. Easy VPN has been there for a long time. So a lot of software has been developed already for Easy VPN. VPN client and all the other kind of stuff. And router can act as an Easy VPN client and all the other kinds. Right? But Flex VPN is relatively very new. Very new. So a lot of software has not been developed yet. It's still in the beginning phases. But the basic setup of what you do with a router as a client and with the Easy VPN server is the same. You have a Flex VPN server and a Flex VPN client, and then you can make the same tunnel like you used to do before, share the same things like you used to do before. But the only one thing, the difference here is there is no NEM. There's no NEM mode. There's no NE plus mode. Nothing like that. You do all of it manually. What do I mean by manually? In network extension, I used to extend networks from my side to the other side. Right? And the normal mode, the client mode was I used to get an IP address and the server used to have a static route towards me. Right? The same thing is done here. You know exactly how to do it. You know how to install the static route from the server to client, to the interface, as well as to that network that is inside. We did that in DMVPN. That is why flexibility is there. Now you know how to do DMVPN. You will tell me how to do flex. I will not tell you. You will tell me the steps for flex VPN server client. You know it. You have done it already. With just one small minor command, you'll have to do it on the client. Everything else is the same. Okay, let's do that first and we can look at the concept later. First things first, our IOU. वो सस्पेंड किया था ना कल? सस्पेंड किया था ना? Resume the guest. Make sure that I'm using the same interface which I need. VMnet 1, which is host only, that is fine. VMnet 1, what is the IP? 192.168, 2.1.0. Perfect. Hi. 2.100. Will open my IOU. This right here. I also need to open my secure CRT. The good thing is I saved everything yesterday, so it'll be easier. Starting from R1. Yeah, it's fine. Everything is saved. In this there is no serial. Fast Ethernet. You have serial which is already there, but we are not using it. This one. These are serial links. These ones. I'm not using it. This is not the only topology you can use. You can go to the internet and download some topologies for here. And then you can import it in downloads. In manage, you can import those topologies. But you really wouldn't need them because this will definitely cover everything. 8 routers is more than enough to cover routing and switching. Will cover most of everything. These 8 routers are in your lab. Sorry, CCIE lab, routing switching. Look at how big the topology is. Right, so this will cover your everything. You don't need anything else. But if you still want, you can download those sample labs and import it in there. R2. R3, R5 switch 2, and switch 1 should be this, not this, the second one probably. Yeah. Okay, so I have everything. Let me see the routing. This is which one? Server client, spoke to spoke. This is spoke to spoke. If everything is fine, if everything was saved yesterday, we can still verify it. R3, yes. R2 is the internet. I have this all coming from 10.1. Create a virtual access. An EIGRP relationship will be set up. EIGRP is set up. I have this, but there's a problem. There's an override here, so that means my mappings are not perfect. Maybe they are. They'll still go through here. I'll have to shut my tunnel down and bring it back up again. But from R4 is also the same. So let's go in here, interface tunnel 0, shut. And no, shut. Okay. Good. It's going straight, spoke to spoke. Now R4 and R3 are spoke to spoke. R1, I can do the same thing on the same topology, but I'm not going to do that right now. We'll start over from 0. All I have to do is just change one thing, but I won't do that right now. What I'll do is I'll erase this and reload. Because I want to set up a server-client relationship between whom? R1 and R5. The diagram is the same as yesterday. R1 will be connected to the internet. R2 will be inside and R5 will be here. There is no spoke to spoke here. Remember, it is not spoke to spoke. This will just act as a client to this guy. Just like an easy VPN server. Does he know what the IP of this guy is going to be? No. He does not, because he's the server. These guys will connect up from home, from their internet connection. So he doesn't have to know. Do they need to know what his IP is? Yes. Definitely. Right? Everything else will be the same. You'll see the similarities between DMVPN on Flex and EasyVPN on Flex. Let's start. And help me with this because I want you to critically think about it. First step, I need to create, first let's think about it. What do I need to create on R1? A DVTI.
Yes.
I need to create a DVTI. Should it be protected? Yes.
Yes.
It should be protected. So for that I would require a profile. For the profile I would require an IKV2 profile also. Right? So I'll have a virtual template for the DVTI. To protect the virtual template, I will have an IPsec transform set profile plus IKV2 profile. Right? Do I need to push any route down? Yes. Because my internal networks 10.1.1.1 should be pushed down so they can reach up. Just like I used to do in an ACL, a split ACL, I used to push it down. So I'll need to do that also. Right? From the client side, in the beginning we'll just do client mode. Client mode does not need to fix anything up. He does not need to send anything up. Right? But he needs to set that one interface. Which one? The IP address that he's going to receive. He needs to tell the server, hey, you gave me this, have a static route towards me. We'll talk about the server side now. What is the first step? What am I supposed to do in the beginning? I need to create the IKE profile. For that, do I need to change the default policy? I need to do route set interface.
Route set interface is the access list.
as well as access list. I need to push down access list as well as an interface address. So I do need to change my authorization policy. Remember? So what are the steps? The first step is I enable the AAA model and create an authorization list which points towards my local authorization. Now this is not spoke to spoke, so I do not need to do it on the default. I only need to do spoke to spoke, default when I'm doing spoke to spoke, because as I said there are some bugs, so it does not work with if you change the list. You need to do it on the default for server spoke. Here you can do it on any, so name it anything. Authorization network. Local. Right? So I'm telling him that the authorization policy is going to be done locally, but I need to do it locally. So let's do it locally. Crypto IKE v2 authorization policy. Call it anything. IKE pol. And what am I pushing down? Route set interface and route set access list 10. I have not created 10, so before I do this I'll go in here, access list 10 permit 10.1.1.0. so I'm pushing 10.1 network down, so they know where 10.1 is. This is a standard access list. This is a standard access list which I'm pushing down. Right, so he'll have a route towards this network. If I do 10.0, he will have a static route towards 10.0.0. Whatever I push down as the access list will be installed as a static route on the other side.
But why you don't need to specify the protocol for this access list?
This is standard.
This is a standard access list. If I had 100 here, then it was permit IP from this source to this destination. Here it's a standard access list. So I'm just pushing that down. I just need the source. I do not need the destination. I just need to tell him where to install the route to.
You can specify it.
Right? Done? So this part is done. I need to put all of this where in a profile. IKE v2 profile, right? I call it in the IKE v2 profile. For that, what do I need? All those proposal and policies for the profile. I'm telling you the steps so you can link it up together when you're doing it. So what is missing now is the crypto IKE v2 proposal, prop, encryption, 3DES, group, 2, integrity, MD5. Done? Crypto IKE v2 profile prof. I didn't do one thing here which I had done before. There was the pool. Yes, I forgot to do the pool because this is easy VPN. Yes.
Sorry to disturb, but that access list when it is pushed down, the source and the destination won't they be changed like we did for?
That was easy VPN. No, see, easy VPN. I only did a source. He does not install. He does not use it to install the route as a static route. Remember yesterday I showed you this when we did route set access list. This one address will only be used so that the other guy installs it as a static route. He will not use it as an access list there. Just like I do route set interface, he installs a static route towards my interface.
So the access list is converted into a static route.
Is a static route on the other side, exactly. Just a static route. Okay. This is easy VPN, so I also need a pool. This is easy VPN server, so I also need a pool. So this does not become 2. This is 3. 2 will be IP local pool flex 1.10 1. I can have 100 users, 100 clients. And where do I call this pool? Pool
Flex.
flex. Was it pool?
Yes.
So he's gonna push down the pool to the other side, right? So give out an IP from this pool to the other interface. Then send out a static route. Tell him to install a static route towards you, and also tell him have a static route towards my internal networks 10.11, 10.1.1. Okay, done. Then profile, not profile, policy. Policy, Paul. What do I call in here? Proposal, prop. Then keyring. Crypto Ike V2 keyring KR. My peer is any. Address is and pre-shared key is Cisco. Keyring is done. I need to create a profile. So this is 4. Step 5 will be profile. Crypto Ike V2 profile. Call it anything. Ike prof. What was the next step? Match address. Match identity address. Identity remote address 0000. Anyone can come in and create a profile with me. And authentication local pre-share, authentication remote pre-share, keyring local. Yeah. And do I need a virtual template?
Yes.
I need a virtual template. Virtual template. So I need a virtual template so that I can create a DVTI downstairs. Yeah. I forgot which one. After virtual template, or we have before this AAA authorization. I'm using group, not user. Group. User is for AAA server if I'm using a user based authentication on the AAA server. And I'll be using PSK, not EAP, not anything else. I'm not overriding. I can override if I want to. That will work. That command will also work because I'm not using users anyways. If you use override, user will never be used. But that's okay. I don't need it right now. PSK and list. Liar. List. List is the name. What is the name? Munib. Good. And the other one is, the username is Ike Paul. Ike Paul is which one? The policy which I created right here. Where did it go? This one. The one which I edited locally. I edited this locally where I say route set interface and all the other kind of stuff. Right? Virtual template 10. Now, what is the next step? Step 6. Crypto, IPsec, transform set, tset, ESP, 3des, ESP, MD5. Good, good. Crypto, IPsec, profile, I, graph, set, transform set, tset, set Ike V2, profile. Next step. Yes. What is the next step? Interface, virtual, template 10. Type tunnel. Do not forget. Type tunnel. Keep on repeating this. Tunnel source is 192.1.12.1. No destination. IP address. What is my IP address?
IP number.
Unnumbered what?
Number loopback 90.
I need to create it. I need to create the loopback 11 and give it an address of the same range. Right? And then IP unnumbered loopback 11. So to source is done, IP is done. Destination I don't know. Can this be a pure IPsec tunnel? Or does it have to be GRE? Does it have to be GRE or can it be pure? Am I using NHRP in here?
No, it can be pure.
I'm not using NHRP.
But if we try to connect many users, then it will not be.
But they are not talking to each other. You have to understand why do we do server and client. Server and client for the clients to access their internal networks. Only for that reason. So there is no spoke to spoke here. If you do that, you'll be going back to spoke to spoke. I don't need spoke to spoke communication. That is exactly what DMVPN is. That is the only difference between the two. Here my job is for the remote users to access the headquarters and whatever is behind the headquarters. Okay, so IP unnumbered loopback 0, tunnel mode IPsec IPv4 and tunnel protection IPsec profile I am missing something. No. Let's check this again from the beginning. New model, network is local, authorization is done locally. What is my local authorization? Here, where I say route set interface, route set access list, and the pool is defined right here, and my access list is defined right here. So they are all called here. This needs to be called in the profile. To create the profile, I need this stuff: my proposer, my policy, my keyring. Create the profile, call all of this, and also call the authorization group which I just created. A group along with pointing to the local list, and the group is right here. Then you have virtual template. Why? Because I need a DVTI. So now I need to configure parameters of the virtual template. I will require a transform set. I will require a profile, IPsec profile, where I call the transform set along with the IPv2 profile. Finally, configure the virtual template and protect it using the iBrow. Right? Copy. Is the same thing we had done before. There's nothing new in here.
Spoke to spoke,
We are not using DVTI for spokes to spokes. This has nothing to do with spokes.
GRE, we are using GRE.
We are not using GRE here.
Spoke to spoke.
Spoke to spoke we use GRE because we're supposed to use NHRP. NHRP works in conjunction with GRE. Is this okay? My virtual template is down. Why is it down? It will be down because virtual accesses are up. Virtual template is always down. The protocol is always down. Now to create the virtual access, it will be done from the other side. This is the side where there's a little different. Until now, everything is the same. Except for the pool we did yesterday. The only one thing that I added was route set access list. Interface also I had done yesterday. So can I do this now? Let's go to create a tunnel with R5. I'll create it with R5. Go in here. New model. Munib local. Why do I need to do this local here?
To check the local policy.
Why do I need to create a policy on the client side?
To edit whatever you want.
To?
On client side.
On client side.
Just for route set.
For?
Route set.
Route set.
And route access.
Why? So that the other side will know where I am.
And my behind address.
And if I need to do network extension mode, then I need to do the access list also. First, we will not do the access list part. We will just do this part. Do I need a pool? I do not need a pool. Let's do this separately. I need a pool? No. I don't need a pool. I need an access list? Right now I don't. So pool and access list, remove it. The only thing I'll do is basic route set interface. So he knows what IP he gave me and what is the virtual access it's coming from. He installs a static route towards me. Do I need this? Obviously. I need this, I need this, I need this. I need this, I need this, I need this as well as this. Why? Because I have to point to Munib. I am setting a route set interface. Do I need this? No. It's not a DVTI. It's a VTI, static VTI. Transform set, yes. Profile, yes.
Yes.
Loopback, no. This will not be a virtual template tunnel. This will be a tunnel source 25.5. IP address. What is the IP address going to be? No practice yesterday, huh? No one practices yesterday. Negotiated. negotiate from the other end. Then tunnel mode same, tunnel protection same. Right? I do not know the destination. That is exactly where the difference comes into play. The destination, I'm not going to put it inside the tunnel because I want this to be accepted as a client. Right? He should be accepted as a client. For that, I'll have to do this one extra command which says tunnel destination is dynamic. Dynamic. Why dynamic? It's the same. I'm still specifying the destination, just not there, but in a different module. I'm just taking it out and putting it in a different module. I'll see what that is. We'll see what that is, right? Until now, everything is okay. This is okay, this is okay, this is okay, and this is okay. First things first, 12.1 is, it's not configured. Ethernet 00, hopefully it's Ethernet 00. Shot in the dark. Yeah, that's too many O's. It's not 00. I'll have to check. R5. It is 00. Have I put it in the right VLAN? Switch 1, show VLAN. Yeah, that's what I'm checking. VLAN brief. Okay, first I'll have to check what port this is. VLAN 5, this is 11. 11 needs to be put into 25. Ethernet 11. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 25. It wasn't even created. Along the same lines, let's check if this has 25. Does not have 25. So here also I need to create 25. Encapsulation .1q 25. IP address 25.2. Okay. Then R5 should be able to reach 12.1. No. Why not? It reaches this guy. Why not 12.1? Something's wrong with 12.1. I restarted it, so there is no IP address on this side. Okay, so R5 is reachable to R1. Now I need to paste all this, beginning from AAA new model. Done? Something is wrong where? IQ2 policy. 2 up. Model. Local. Everything else should be okay. Everything is okay. But if you check, this guy has nothing yet. Turn 0 has nothing. Why? Because his destination is not there. To do the destination, this is the only place where you'll use this one command. Until now we have done flex VPN. Have you ever seen that keyword flex VPN? No. We did not see it. It's only in the client that you see it. Crypto IQ2 client. What client? Flex VPN. This guy is going to be a flex VPN client. Name this anything. Just like we do it on a CA server, we name it anything. So FX flex. Okay, and then you have certain options. You remember some of them. The first one you'll use is pair. You need to give a sequence number of the pair. Right? Why? Because in this you can also have backup easy VPN servers. You have one Flex VPN server, so the sequence number 1 will always be tried. If he cannot reach there, he'll go and try the second one for tunnel destination. So you have that flexibility also on the client's end. If one side is not, you have two backups, two Flex VPN servers doing the same thing, but different IP addresses now. So if one goes down, you can reach it from the other side. All you need to do in that case is do it here. Pair 1 is this, pair 2 is the other one. He will always go to pair 1 first. If pair 1 is down, then he'll try pair 2. What is pair 1's address?
So it's like priority.
It's like a priority. It's like your ISACamp, you have priorities, right? ISACamp 10, 20, 30. 10 is tried first, then 20 is tried. My public address there. So the destination there is specified here, but I need to link them together. Client, connect, tunnel. Which tunnel? 0. Connect using tunnel, 0. And I also have that connect auto. But before I did that, the Flex VPN client is up. What is the server public address? 12.1. And the tunnel has been assigned what address? 21. Show IP route. Does he have that static route? He has that static route. This is one thing I wanted you to see. If I ping 10.1, will I be able to reach it? I don't have a loopback, so let's just create a loopback first. I cannot reach it from 10.5. I should be able to reach it from my normal interface. But I'm not able to. Can anyone tell me why? Because of? No. He has a static route through the tunnel. The other endpoint of the tunnel is R1. There's one thing from here I want you to remember, so that's why I want you to think. I have the access list. So the access list is telling me to install this route. I have that route already. I have the route also. It says go through the tunnel. If I check my tunnel, my source is 25.5, destination is 12.1. On R1, let's check the route on R1. I have this guy, right? And I have a static route towards the virtual access. I have done it, so that's how I have 21. That's how I have 21. If I ping 21, it goes. I can ping the interface, but I cannot ping it with the source. Why? Yeah? Not NEM. Check this. No authorization. There is no loopback. There is no loopback. Why I wanted you to show this? Even if there is no loopback, the route still goes in here. Why? Because this access list which you push down has nothing to do with if the network actually exists or not. It will just be purely what the access list states. There was no 10.1.1, but he still pushed that route only because the access list stated it. He does not care if it exists or not. It's just pure one command. Whatever is in here, create a static route towards me using that. You understand? Show IP interface brief. These tunnels that were going down, these were the older tunnels. The one with R3 and R4, spoke to spoke. Why? Because my characteristics changed. The other side is GRE. This side is IPsec, IPv4. That's why he's not able to create it with them. So that we don't see these messages, what I'll do is I'll shut these tunnels down for some time. Okay? Is this clear? Now, what do I have to do? Create that loopback interface. So R5 can ping not with the source, with this. Why not with the source? Because he does not know what that side is. He doesn't know where 10.5 is. That is network extension mode. I'll have to do it manually. See this? This is the static route for the tunnel, the other side of the tunnel. There's also one more thing I can do. Instead of doing route set interface, I can also do this. Client, what's the client? IKV2. Yeah, I am in the interface. No, there's. Oh, okay, I'll have to do it here, yes. Crypto IKV2 client, Flex VPN FX, client, inside, loopback, 0. Telling my inside is loopback 0. Remember, we used to do it where? Easy VPN, inside and outside. Outside, he already knows which one is it. Inside, but there's a difference here. When I do this, type it out. Have a static route towards 1.1, static route towards here. Does not have anything, right? No, this should happen, see? Not telnet. He's not installing anything. He should install it on the other side. For him, the virtual access is down. That's what it says, but it doesn't usually. It should pat. That's what it says in the documentation, that this should pat. But I tried it yesterday, it didn't work. It should pat with 192.168.1.1. But it doesn't. There's no outside in here. There's no outside option. See, crypto, IKV2, client, Flex, FX. There's no outside option. You have client, inside, and connect. Connect is where do you connect through, and inside is what is the inside. But that's one way of doing it. What is the other way of doing this? To tell him my inside networks. Crypto. What do I need to change on this one? The only one thing I need to change here is access list 10, permit, liking it, 10.5.5.0, and here will be route set access list 10. That's all I need to do on the client side. Done. Let's check. Clear the tunnel. You can do it here like this. Clear IKV2, crypto, IKV2, client, Flex VPN. Down, up, swipe it out. No? Did I do it clearly? Route set access list 10. Where's my access list 10? Permit 10.5.0.0. This is fine, this should work. Right, this is access list 10. Let's go here. Shut this down first. See, this is what I was saying. If you go to R1 right now, interface, virtual template 10, type tunnel, see, he'll show you a message. He also says why active virtual access is present. So I'll have to go for here and maybe it was not clearing from this side. I'll say connect manual first and then shut it. not shut here, interface tunnel, or just clear it. Clear crypto, IKE v2, flex VPN, client, flex VPN. Clear the client, and then I'll try it again. Now you can enter. Right, shut. ICCamp is off. No shut. ICCamp is on, and here crypto, IKE v2, same as EasyVPN, flex, connect. Same as before. Interface is up, you get an IP, you get the static route, you get this. This side should also get a static route. Maybe that was the case, I had to shut it. That's why he was not getting it from inside also.
Now we have the inside also.
Now we have both. Inside also and this. So he's installing it one of the two ways. He'll do the same thing. He will also install the static route the same way. When you do inside, he will not do your natting. He will install that static route. He will take it up as the static route to the other side. So route side static is done automatically. So now my inside network with the source loopback of 0 is also stopped. So headquarters and everything else is done. Now this gives you a lot of flexibility as compared to EasyVPN. First, you don't have to do that split tunneling part. You can just send the networks which you want the other guy, just send those specific networks to that guy. You can send those specific networks. The other thing that it does, which EasyVPN does not give you, is you can run a routing protocol over it. Why? Because now this is not a host client. This is a router as a client. I have this. He's going to take only this. Why? Because this is statically present to him, so he has a better route. But if I create another loopback, (172.5.5.5), right? And in my, I'll say yeah, it'll work both ways. It's easier to share my routes. Not a functionality with EasyVPN. Although EasyVPN, you can also do this reverse route injection on both sides. You'll have to do some extra steps on the client side, so he also gets because remember EasyVPN, he didn't have the same problem. There was a virtual template on the other side. He didn't have that route to where that guy is. That's why he could not ping that interface. Remember? He could not ping the interface, but he could ping the inside networks. If you can get that one interface set, you can run routing protocols over that also. But it's more complicated. Here, see how simple this is. All you have to do is just route set interface, route set accessors, IP local pool, and push the pool down from one side to the other side, and it's done. How much was different between DMVPN and EasyVPN? On Flex, not much. All you have to do is learn that basic setup first. That basic setup is same in all three. This basic setup is same in all three. What? Authorization profiles. Call them inside your IKE profiles, and then you have either a normal tunnel or a virtual tunnel. Not more than that. One normal tunnel, one virtual tunnel. The two tunnels are only used in spoke to spoke. The others have one static tunnel from down and one DVTI on the top.
Sir,
Authentication, which one? Here you don't have that same XAuth you had before.
but can we do something similar to that?
We can try. We can try. Remember what did we have at that time? For authentication, what did we used to do? Authentication, login, call it anything, local, username, password, Cisco. Copy this. Bring it where? Here. Okay, where did we used to call it? Inside our profile. Crypto Ike v2 profile. Ike prof.
But maybe we can only for
Authentication. Authentication. No, this is the normal authentication, local pre-shared. A authentication. No, you can only do it with EAP, yes. You can only do it with the protocol called EAP. User based, used with the AAA server. You cannot do it locally here. EAP is only done with the AAA. So you'll have to call the list. That list should not be local, should be pointing to a group, which is radius server. And the username and password should be there. And then he'll check it from there and then he'll push it down.
What is
EAP is extensible authentication protocol used for communication between your AAA server and the authenticator,
Oh yes.
right? ACS and the authenticator. This is that protocol that is used. That's why you have a username and password.
We cannot add a redundancies like we used to add an radius configuration like radius and then
Where? There?
radius.
No, we do that when you do a local. We used to do radius and local.
Yeah.
Remember, but this is just EAP. He only supports EAP. In authorization, he does support group.
Yeah, you showed it.
I showed you the group and the user in authorization. But in authentication, he only supports EAP. The authentication should not be done locally, should be done EAP. The local which you're talking about, we do it if we have console backup. Here I'm not doing it for console. This is for remote users login. So I don't need to protect my console. I don't need to protect my console in that way. Okay?
Is there any authentication policy?
Like crypto policy? I don't think so. We'll still try. Crypto, like V2, we have authorization policy. There's no authentication policy. Authorization policy is why what to push down, what to do. Authentication is separate from this. Okay? Clear? Any more questions? This is the end of Flex. Flex VPN is finished. Anything else? As I said before, the clients have not been developed for it yet. They're still in testing. The clients, the Flex VPN, like you have Easy VPN, you have a separate client. It's not the same for Flex right now. They are in development phases. So you'll get it soon. Even the documentation, if you check on Cisco, it's not complete yet. It's only few pieces. They're missing bytes, bits a lot. Why? Because it's a new technology. They are creating new stuff about it. But again, whatever is new in technology is in demand.
These bugs are in their GUI also.
Which ones?
GUI.
GUI, which one? The
Flex.
ASDM? ASDM के अंदर हाँ अगर iOS में तो GUI में भी होंगे obviously.
Sir, what tool for CC, Cisco Configuration Professional?
Cisco, I have never personally used it.
Yesterday I was checking on the internet. It's very easy to configure, with
All of these things you can use it to configure all of this. उसमें वो policies वगैरह बनी होती है and you can push them
We
down.
have to source destination, what kind of encryption.
They have to just know the address.
Address
then
and-
put that address
And it will show what commands it ran in the background.
And it shows you all the
Yes.
commands just like ASDM does, but ASDM में ढूंढना पड़ता है configuration
Shows
में.
before pasting, it shows this
All
is
the-
what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm
That is
doing.
used in production where
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
employee
Yeah.
goes to a client side and just copy.
Copies this.
टारगेट होता है
Yeah, उसमें जल्दी ख़त्म करना होता है and all the other kind of stuff. Can, but troubleshooting करनी होगी तब क्या करोगे? Can't do it that time, right? So it's good. I mean, once you know this,
Yes, yes.
then it's okay to do that. But it's not good to start from there and come here. But what I'm saying is, it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
But as जैसे कहते हैं ना, lab should be done in the end. It's not good if you look at the lab first and then start studying. वो सारा खराब हो जाएगा process. So don't need look at the lab first, do everything and then go to the lab. Same way, first this and then that is the shortcut. फिर time कैसे बचाना?
Yes.
गरम है, nice.
सर ये predecessor को भी predecessor.
What kind of predecessor?
Suppose means the easy VPN.
No. It's not backward compatible. You mean backward compatibility? कि Flex VPN server पे Easy VPN client चलेगा? Easy VPN uses ISACAP. Easy VPN, remember the client which is created uses ISACAP, IKE v1 policies. IKE v2 they'll have to create a completely different protocol. Why? Because the packet exchange is completely different. है ना उसमें IKE वो उसमें 6 messages plus 3 messages. Here it's completely different. So the client also has to support. Here remote access ही तो कर रहे हैं. There is no client right now. For remote access, there is no remote access client right now. But they'll develop probably VPN का नया version आएगा that will support IKE v2 and all the other kind of new technologies.
कि it would support the already accomplished VPN also.
He will support as in which case?
Supports the VM also and EVM.
The EasyVPN server client or Flex as a whole?
So Flex as a whole supports easy VPN accomplished network as well as VM.
No, I saw the documentation yesterday. What it is EasyVPN अगर यहाँ है, you create a redundant Flex VPN over there, then migration कर सकते हो उसके ऊपर. The migration will be easy. That's what it says. I've read that document. The migration will be, but backward compatibility नहीं होगी. That Flex VPN का तुम्हारा server होगा, EasyVPN client होगा. That's backward compatibility. That will not be there. It will support when the client is updated. That will run both. They'll be able to run EasyVPN as well as this. So here you cannot connect to this using an EasyVPN client, or you cannot have a Flex VPN client and connect it to an EasyVPN server. वैसी compatibility नहीं होगी. But yeah, in a network you can run both. दो पे EasyVPN server run किया, तीसरा router Flex VPN बना दिया. But EasyVPN के client should be EasyVPN, but Flex VPN का client should be Flex VPN. The functionality will be exactly the same. It'll provide you the same functions on both. Okay.
So on the client side, you used say peer 1 and then
Yeah. So that is if I have a multiple Flex VPN servers. I have one and second one as a backup.
1 stand for
The one is the priority number. The first priority will be given to this. If this is down, then second will be the दूसरा priority. So he'll go to the second one. If that is down, he'll go to the third one. Basically trying with this server doesn't work, tries with this server doesn't work, tries with this server. So different servers. Right now I only have R1 as the server. I can have R2 as the server also, or R3 as the server also. So first he'll always go to R1 for priority basis. But if R1 is down in any case, for redundancy, he'll go to R2. Is this clear? Everybody? Finish it off with Flex? Yes? Alright. That is your Flex VPN, all three.